there from behind there, Thoising asking for a foul. It's the experience that N.E United have in attack of how they can win free kicks, of keeping the ball. And here, keeper Viguna, he's been happy with the squad. He's been very happy the way Diamond Harbour have carved their way in the Indian Durand Cup, especially in the final third where they've been so direct and dangerous, Mark.
It was just played out by Radim Talang, who scored that stunning goal in the semi-final. He went close previously in the tournament, a vicious 30-yarder that was just over the top, but he found the net against Shillong Lejon. Here's another long-range effort.
Last couple of seasons in sessions where N.E United must be up against Beshat, they're here now, they're up against each other. Although he needs to do better as a goalkeeper there if you're going to fumble. If there was a quality finish, if they were ready for the second ball, if N.E United were ready, this could have been a different story.
As we mentioned, the conditions a little bit greasy. Maybe that's the thinking behind long-range shooting. Try and force the goalkeeper into an error. 4 wins and 1 defeat for Diamond Harbour. That heavy defeat to Moen Bagan. But fortunately, by virtue of that 8-1 win over BSF, they had enough in the bank to make sure they went through as one of the 2 second-place teams into the quarterfinals. Cortazar has settled in nicely. Didn't play in the first match, but the new signing from Amobieta in Spain looks as though he's settled well into his new role at his new club. Was Diamond Harbour looking to become the first side since FC Goa to win this as debut, and on debut rather. 8 debutant winners in the past of this competition. And it's been great, Karen. We talked about this, or this was talked about in the build-up, that this year the Durand Cup has been played in 5 states. It's given a lot of supporters around different parts of India, in this sort of region of India, if you like, a chance to go and watch football at the highest level this season.
Yeah, and we saw that in the semi-finals, Mark, where there was a Northeast derby and then a Kolkata derby as well. 2 big derbies in Indian football played, and now we have these 2 strong sides who are playing at this very prestigious venue. So you've seen good football in different states of India, and that's what we need at this current stage where, football has been given a chance, and players, and you see fans gathering in large numbers to witness these matches as well.
Free kick to Diamond Harbour. A little tug on the shirt of Paul there from Andy. I mentioned the last team to win this back-to-back were East Bengal. They actually won 3 in a row, 1989, 1990, 1991. Ended up winning 4 out of 5, only JCT preventing them winning 5 in a row. It's a sky clearance. It'll be a tough one for Gurmeet, but he kept his eye on the ball. Good goalkeeping from Gurmeet. 7 clean sheets in the ISL last season for the Northeast United keepers. They made the playoffs. Here's Zabako. Now Radim. Thoising just allowing that to run out of play. Just your thoughts, Karen, on, maybe Juan Pedro Bernali's thinking no Jitin tonight, who we know he has great pace and can cause problems. He's opted to go with Thoising tonight in place of him.
A big miss there for Northeast, the likes of Jitin, who have the experience of playing in these kind of situations. Although, boy, now, young players or players like these, you wait for such chances where you have been given an opportunity, and now you will be up against the Diamond Harbour defence, which has been solid throughout the Durand Cup. Although it's Alati Najare who's playing down the left flank for Northeast United. The likes of Ajit, Ruakima, or Paul, they need to be very, very careful now.
Yeah, the other change for Northeast United tonight is Party Gogot. We know about his goals, of course, replacing Rinzuala, who joined from Aizawl, having scored 12 goals in the I-League last season. So he's been quite shrewd in the transfer market, Juan Pedro Bernali, ahead of the new campaign. That's Jobby Justin, long way for a goal, and pulls the shot wide of the target. The Diamond Harbour captain.
Keeper Vakuna, he knows his team, they have the quality of taking those kind of chances, although they need to keep the temptations in control. You need to pass the ball to a player that's in a better position.
Diamond Harbour, who first played in the I-League 3 back in 2024, won promotion. Last season, they went on a 16-match unbeaten run, the longest streak in the competition, to secure their promotion to the I-League. 3 promotions in 3 successive seasons, having come up through the Calcutta Football League as well. They have their eyes on the top prize in India. They want to be at football's top table as part of that ISL. If they can win promotion this season. Robbie showed too much of it to Toy Singh though. Andy. Pass was a little bit short to N.E United, but he still managed to get a foot on the ball. To redeem. Well, he started his career back at N.E United, played a game or a couple of games in the first season of the ISL for N.E back in 2014. Finds himself back there with an extension to his contract as well. Lovely ball inside the fullback, looking for Samte. Actually got across there, flag was up for offside on this near side. But they've got 2 fullbacks in Redeem and Samte that also like to get forward and support those attackers as well.
Yeah, very clever there from N.E. He likes dropping in those pockets, and Juan Pedro Benali, he knows that. But he can play down the left flank, he plays down the middle as well. Although likes of Samte, if you see, they make those runs down the left flank. N.E. just feeds them at the right place at the right time and then makes his way in and around that 6-yard box. He's United looking for those spaces, although Diamond Harbour mark right now, very, very compact.
Yeah, one noticeable absentee to their team is Clayton, the Brazilian, who scored those 4 goals in that 8-1 win over BSF. Picked up a knock earlier in the tournament, so he's unable to play. That's Mirshad, to be sure of himself with the footwork there, because he was under pressure from Partip. Played back by Maya Khanat. Now Redeem. Got off to a winning start. Diamond Harbour against Mohammedan. A 100th minute winner from Luka Machin in that one. The game was heading for a draw, but probably one of the latest goals, if not the latest goal we've had in this season's Durand Cup, getting them 3 points in their opening game. They went on to put 8 past BSF. Lost to Mohammedan, beat Jamshedpur, then beat East Bengal, that 83rd minute winner from Joby Justin, ending East Bengal's hopes of a 17th Durand Cup win and moving level with their great rivals, of course, Mohammedan Super Giants. Fairly tentative start by both teams, just the 1 shot on target so far, that one from N.E United. Here's Redeem. Lovely ball bent round behind Toy Singh. That was a really well measured ball by Redeem. Taking on Robbie. Had to just cut back inside there. That was a lovely ball from Redeem to Lang.
Yeah, finding spaces. But then N.E United, especially using their wingers, as you see, down the left flank. It's Samte making those runs and Toy alongside Redeem Telang. Redeem, who got the goal as well against Shillong Lachong in the semi-final.
Well, despite the fact they've had to come to Kolkata, there is plenty of support for N.E United tonight. I know there are. Here's Machin. Trying to get the better of Sabako. A very clever defender, Miguel Sabako. Reads the game very well. Little flick back into the penalty area, looking for the run of Samuel. He's managed to get the ball away. Quarters up. Kima, who they scored those 2 goals against Jamshedpur, scored the opening goal for them against Mohammedan as well, the big central defender. Jobby.
What Diamond Harbour they need to improve upon is scoring goals from open play, as we saw.
Long throw for Jobby Justin. Looking for that little flick at the near post, almost got some action. Blocked by N.E Nunes. Bodies back behind the ball there to get the ball away.
Scanning what North East United are doing and identifies that there is a chance that Diamond Harbour they could get the first goal. They are creating those chances. They have control over this game as well. As we see the 3 midfielders from Diamond Harbour, Samuel, Liansanga and Paul. They have the experience. Paul especially, he's played in Aizawl, he's played for Odisha, he's played in the ISL, he scored against East Bengal in the ISL as well, 2 goals. And Kibu Vikuna knows that this midfield, they can cause problems. They can keep majority of the ball possession as well.
Yeah, they've certainly shown that throughout the tournament so far. He's a man who likes to play in a certain way, Kibu Vikuna. We've seen that 2020-21 season he was in charge of the Kerala Blasters. That's a heavy challenge from Radin to land on Giric. He's saying he got the ball, but he got a big chunk of the man as well, and Giric certainly felt that challenge coming in from behind, and it will be the first yellow card of the game for Radin Talang, who goes into the book.
Yeah, just times it. No matter that, he was definitely going for the ball there, although fast to react. Giric Khosla, although not, he needs to be careful with Radin Talang. In those 1v1 and 2v1 situations where now Diamond Harbour they like to attack where Radin Talang is.
It's his 3rd spell at North East United. Lovely ball over the top, hooked back across, and it's almost onto the head of Cortazar. Just a fraction behind him, he couldn't generate any power on the ball. It was kept in play on this near side. Here's a sheer. Cleared out of play, which will keep his side under a little bit of pressure, but once again that North East defence just having to be on their level.
Yeah, we saw there was a blocker there. Good set piece from Diamond Harbour, and then a little flick back into the 6-yard box. Cortazar, he had a chance, he had an opportunity, and Diamond Harbour, the 2 centre backs there, Cortazar and Kima, they've got 4 goals between the 2 of them, 3 for Kima.
Diamond Harbour fans enjoying themselves here at the Salt Lake at the moment, enjoying seeing their side put a bit of pressure on North East United defence. Sabako given the task of marking Luka Machin here. It will be Samuela that swings this one over from the corner. Punched away by Gurmi. Got good distance on that as well. We talk a lot about goalkeepers. If you're going to come and punch, get distance on it, and Gurmi did just that.
Yeah, just cleared away to safety, away from the 18-yard box. Although it's Diamond Harbour that are controlling this game. One opportunity that they need, and Ibu Vikuna, he knows that. Juan Pedro Benali identifying that threat. But we haven't spoken about Adi Najjar Mark so far. He has, first 20 minutes he has been missing.
He's a player, though, that only needs a half chance. We've seen that a lot. Although he starts mainly on the left, he has the ability to cut in, and sometimes he'll roam out to the right and he'll go through the middle. He's very difficult for defenders to keep track of. We have seen a lot at times, particularly in the ISL last season, when there's an influential player like him. One central midfielder maybe's just been given the job of shadowing him everywhere, but sometimes you can pay too much attention to one person. As another free kick's given away. Here's a foul on Paul this time. And North East just struggling to cope with Diamond Harbour going forward in the final third at the moment.
Yeah, it does look like that. A foul now on Paul. Restless challenge. They need to be careful. They're N.E United. Diamond Harbour attracting fouls, and Paul knows how to win those kind of free kicks. And now in this position, a danger situation there for N.E United. Keep your eyes on Luka Machin and the runners in behind as well.
Samuela's over this free kick, who did score 2 goals direct from free kicks in the I-League last season, but on the I-League 2 rather last season, but not on that occasion. That's way over the top. Ashir Akhtar getting a talking to from Ventukesh. Maybe a little bit too much pushing and shoving going on inside the penalty area for that free kick, but
whipped the ball away from the goalkeeper. Sent it over the crossbar.
Already approaching the midway point of the first half, still 0-0. Diamond Harbour have just come into the game a little bit more. North East with the only shot on target so far from Aladin Ajari that bounced up and came off Mershed's chest. Here's Robbie. Really was a wonderful season last year for... Oh, and it could be a problem here for Redeem, who was booked early on. The referee, I thought, might have been going to his pocket there for another yellow card. And, well, we mentioned that could be problematic with some pace down this near side for Diamond Harbour. Straight in the back. And he's got away with that one, Redeem.
Yeah, he knows that. This challenge once again in from behind, but will just hold off the player, not let him turn. There's no need to stick a leg out. Again, Khosla knows that he has an advantage over him every single time he faces him, every single time he takes the ball in towards Redeem Talan.
Lovely touch. Gurmeet comes out, had to go with the feet because he'd have been very close to sliding outside his area and maybe handling outside the box there, the goalkeeper. So he made the right decision just to get a little block on that. Whipped in by Gerick again. Good save, Gurmeet. Diving header was from Joby Justin, and it's a good save by the goalkeeper. Diamond Harbour starting to threaten. Who was the joint top scorer for the team in the I-League 2 last season, along with Shretha.
Khosla doing well down the left flank with the pace that he brings. Just whips it in. First time effort by Joby Justin. Goes ahead of the defender, once directed towards the near post. Little too close to Gurmeet. Maybe a bit away from him, and this could have been a different story. But good effort there.
Yes, Samte will be mindful. He was the defender that just got muscled off it really by Joby Justin, who managed to get in front of the left back. Gurmeet to the rescue though, still 0-0. Here's Redeem. Long ball over the top. Partev's offside though, just went a fraction too early. Partev Gogoi.
শেয়ার করো সবাই, শেয়ার করো, যারা যারা দেখছো সবাই শেয়ার করো।
Who didn't have a playing career, went straight into coaching, was an assistant to Claudio Ranieri back in 1999 in Spain. Man that's really settled and given some stability to North East United. We've spoken a lot in this competition about the fact that they,
যারা যারা খেলাটা দেখছেন সবাই শেয়ার করুন।
almost every season they did change their coach, and finally they have some stability. He's just about to start his third season as North East United coach. Durand Cup, of course, got them to the playoffs last season. Things definitely going in the right direction for Benali and John Abraham, the man who's bankrolled the club since 2014. Certainly a force to be reckoned with now. They had that really poor season a couple of seasons ago when they were rooted to the foot of the table. Away by Mirshad.
They're trying to create something there, North East United, although very superior. I mean, Harbour and keeping the ball well and not losing it cheaply. You can see the midfield as well making those runs in behind North East United's defence and then tracking back in time as well. Luka Machin, he likes to track back, likes to lead with the press. If you see him, Luka Machin, Joby Justin and Kirik inviting those passes into Diamond Harbour's half and then press together as a team.
It's a wonderful unbeaten run in this competition for North East United. 17 matches unbeaten, that is in regular play. Their only defeat was a penalty shootout. Their last defeat in regular play came back in the 2022 campaign against the Kerala Blasters. But here come Diamond Harbour, Joby Justin, side netting. But again, Diamond Harbour looking the more likely to score the opening goal at the moment. It wasn't Joby actually, just side netting one side of the post though.
Yeah, first time it's Joby Justin that takes the ball away from the defender, makes it harder for himself with that angle. Knows that if his first touch was closer to the goal, he had that opportunity to finish that in towards the far post.
Here's a Jarre shooting chance again, but off the defender and into the arms of Mirshad. He's such a direct player, Aladin Jarre. You almost feel when he gets the ball in those side of positions, the only thing on his mind is getting a shot in and trying to score. He's not interested in passing. He just wants to get his side in front.
Yeah, this time around a foul on Redeem Falang. Protecting the ball well. Jarre is so dangerous on the ball. He's very quiet most of the game, and then these kind of passes finds himself in pockets of spaces close to the 6-yard box.
Well, that's given away cheaply by a shear to Luka Machin, but the ball just had too much pace on it. Straight through to Gurmi. Gets the applause though of Kibu Bakuna.
Yeah, it's an apology there by Shirakter after that missed pass. Diamond Harbour trying to capitalize on that situation. Although so far it does look like kind of match where you're reliant or you're dependent on that first goal and then the game opens up.
Here come North East once again. Oh, straight at the goalkeeper. Just manages to somehow get that around the post. He was falling backwards when he made the save. And just managed to get that from the post.
Very clever there from Humpty. Good cut back there. With perfect pace and perfect power. What about that run there in behind? Right back in behind Ajit, and then gets it behind into an Arthur. Could have done better, opened his body up a little more and finished it in towards the far post.
Got a little fortunate there, Mirshad. Andy with the corner. does tend to take the corners from both sides. Aladdin Ajare. Machin, who came off. Machin not properly cleared off the goalkeeper. And this time North East United will take the lead. Well, they were looking across for a flag, but it didn't come. And the Highlanders, who've been under a little bit of pressure over the last few minutes, finally managed to get themselves in front. It was a poor clearance by Luka Machin. The ball bubbled around, and Ashir Akhtar was the man who'd come forward that took advantage, stabbing in from close range. And the source of the goal, but North East United won't care.
Yeah, once again, there, North East United getting in behind Diamond Harbour. Although Mirshad there, if you have a look at him there, finished in towards Mirshad, and then he loses the ball once and just gives it on a platter to Ashir Akhtar. We saw that earlier with Aladdin Ajare as well, and he's not going to miss it there. Ashir Akhtar, inside the 6-yard box, an open goal right in front of him. But you need to do better than Mirshad. Either you collect it or you palm it away from the danger area.
নর্থ ইস্ট একটা গোল দিয়েছে, এবার সবাই শেয়ার করে দাও, লাইক করে দাও।
Ashir Akhtar, who did score last season against Hyderabad in a 4-1 win, gets a vital goal here in the Indian or Durand Cup final. And Diamond Harbour will be disappointed they haven't made the most of the chances that they've had in this opening 31 minutes or so. But again, yeah, the goalkeeper Mirshad should be doing better. Good play again by Aladdin Ajare. Quickly, 3 players were around him. Paul, one of them. Zabako. Now Redeem. Looking long for Toy Singh. It was an awkward one. He was always looking over his shoulder at that one there. Toy Singh. And that will be the drinks break in the first half. John Abraham, who saw his side lift the trophy last season, back in the stands
ড্রিঙ্কস
today.
ব্রেক হয়েছে, সবাই শেয়ার এবং লাইক সাবস্ক্রাইব করো চ্যানেলটাকে।
Sure, a few nerves around for him at the moment, Karen, but he'll be delighted his side have managed to get them in front against some very tricky opponents tonight in Diamond Harbour.
A tournament organised by the Indian Army for Johnny Abraham there, and he'll be very pleased with that first goal for Ashir Akhtar for North East United. North East United kept soaking the pressure. Diamond Harbour, they know when you play against a quality side like North East United, when you have Aladdin Ajare or the other players that they have, you don't take your chances. This is what happens. And what a wonderful shot here off the Salt Lake.
Yeah, Magnificent Stadium. The Salt Lake, of course, as we said, many great nights under the lights here. And the Golden Boot winner will win an SUV for their troubles. Aladdin Ajare in line with that at the moment. And the Golden Glove will also receive one as well. The ball winner. So plenty of prizes on offer tonight. And good to see that the players being rewarded for their performances in this competition as well. Diamond Harbour need to regroup here and look to get back. There's the SUV for the Golden Glove winner. 24 teams.
খেলা শুরু হয়ে গেছে, সবাই শেয়ার করে দাও, লাইক করে দাও, সাবস্ক্রাইব করো আমার চ্যানেলটাকে।
6 ISL teams this year because of the ongoing off-field problems, but that won't dilute from another North East United victory if they can get through to lift this shield, lift the trophies rather, the 3 trophies of course. Named after the tournament, named after Henry Mortimer Durand, who was the Foreign Secretary of the British Raj back in the late 1800s, which is where the tournament came from. He was recovering from injury and wanted something that was going to keep the forces players fit and competitive, so the Durand Cup was born, and here we are in 2025, the 3rd oldest competition in the world behind the FA Cup and the Scottish Cup and the oldest tournament in Asia. Well, Gurmey just knocked off his feet there. Referee has blown the whistle. Match just a little bit too aggressive, I think.
He senses that frustration. Luka Machin as well. He knows his team, the kind of chances that they've had. Yeah, could mean away from the that box. Maybe no need for him to come that far out. If you do, sometimes these kind of fouls aren't given. Very lucky there could be a little nudge and a free kick here for N.E United.
That goal for Ashir Akhtar, by the way, is his first goal in the Durand Cup in what is his 16th appearance tonight. Here come North East again, looking for a second, pushed away by the goalkeeper, straight back into play. Toy Singh. Well, again, Mearshad has just kept his defence under pressure there. Toy couldn't take advantage. But again, North East United just starting to thin out.
Yeah, quick thinking there from N.E United. Parthiv just getting the ball onto his right foot. Mearshad does save it, although Toy completely mistimed and mishit it. Do better from them. It is a 1-goal lead. It is a 1-goal margin, although.
Down the line again, Ajare on the chase, looking to put Mearshad under pressure. Little flick just sends the ball all the way through to Gurmit in the North East United goal. Have kept clean sheets in their last two matches. North East a 4-0 win over Bodoland in the quarter-finals, and that 1-0 win over Shillong Lejong in the local derby semi-final, courtesy of Radim Talang's winner. Machin. Ashir tracking him and getting a foot in to concede the corner.
Yeah, heavy touch there from Luka Machin. Looking to go inside onto his right foot, and then that's win a corner for Diamond Harbour. But now, just 9-minute regulation time in the first 45 minutes. Is there a set-piece routine Vikuna has been practicing?
Samuela with the delivery once again. It was Andy that got a header on that one to head it away. Quite a tall figure for a midfielder, Andy. Very similar build to Nestor Albiach, who was at the club for the last couple of seasons. He won't want anything less than a victory tonight, Juan Pedro Benali. He's a man who demands excellence from his over the course of the last two seasons. Long throw from Jobby. And a shot through a crowd from Samuela, nowhere near Gurmit's goal though. Still 1-0. Ashir Akhtar, the only goal of the game after that little fumble from Mearshad that just pushed the ball straight into his path from the northeast corner. Because this time last year, North East were in the final. They played out that 2-2 draw with Murmbagan before going to win 4-3 on penalties. Ajare scored in the match and scored in the penalty shootout as well. Here he's on the ball now, teasing defenders once again, all the way across for Chema Nunes, who maybe should have hit that first time, opted to take a touch, and in the end fails to hit the target. But what a great chance for North East United, and Chema Nunes, I'm sure, will feel that he should have done better there.
Well, his teammates will think selfish there from Chema Nunes. He did go away from the goalkeeper. But look at that, down the left flank once again. Aladina Jare just finds that gap, finds that space. Chema goes around the goalkeeper, and then Aladina is free. His teammate is free. He wants to finish that with his weaker foot. He's far away from goal. If he went onto his left foot, it would have been justified, although the shot wasn't on target. Nunes knows that his teammates, they were in a better position. Passed the ball along the ground. N.E United would have a second goal.
He's the only one of North East's three new Spanish foreigners that haven't found the net yet. Jairo and Andy scoring against Rangajid and Bodoland respectively. Jerry looking to play that one early into Partey, but too many defenders around. It was well cut out by Ruat Kima. Robbie. Went back by Chairman Nunes. Cortazar. Just gone out of play. I think Giri couldn't quite keep the ball in play. Well, the dignitaries tonight, the civilians and the army representatives as well, of course. John Abraham just standing at the back looking on. Redeem with the throw. Toy just plays that one into space, but it was always going to favour the Diamond Harbour player, but another yellow card. And Pedro Benali not happy, either not happy about that ball across or not happy about the award of the yellow card. It was Samte that just blocked off his man and picked up the yellow.
They was trying to be clever there, Samte, stopping that counter-attack. Diamond Harbour. Set piece given, although this N.E United side, they need to be careful with the kind of chances that are being missed.
Second yellow card of the game. Both N.E United's fullbacks in the book. Redeem earlier on and now Samte. Machin. He's through way back into this before half-time for Diamond Harbour. Cortazar. Robbie. Yerk. There's a little trip again by Redeem Talang, who just needs to be careful. I just wonder whether Juan Pedro Benali might have to consider, because he did concede a heavy foul earlier. That was a little bit more clumsy, but he's walking that tightrope, Redeem Talang, and he's got two very tricky players on this near side in Robbie and Girik up against him.
He needs to time his challenges better than Redeem Talang. Free kick given to Diamond Harbour once again. In these kind of situations, when they've scored from last two matches, they've only scored from set pieces or wins, Diamond Harbour, and this is what they're good at. But I mean, he needs to organise his defence, he needs to organise the wall, because we saw that earlier on where he did come out of goal, completely missed the ball.
Now Robbie and Samuela in swinging, out swinging options here for Diamond Harbour. Joby Justin's already had one header saved by Gurmi. With a full start, Samuela's going to leave this one for Robbie. But Samuela goes for the return, floated in, headed back, but went into the side netting for a quarter. Get the angle on the header. It was a good and a well-worked free kick by.
Looking for his second goal there. Cortazar making that run in behind N.E United's defence. He had a little ball played in into the 18-yard box, and then Cortazar was there. Very good. Almost perfectly executed there by Kibu Vicuna's men.
Girik's header. I'm not too keen on some of these challenges here, Diamond Harbour. It was Ashir Akhtar maybe just stamping a little bit. There's Samuela just having a word with him and saying that was a clear foul. Another player that's new to the Diamond Harbour side, having been at Aizawl last season. Did play 3 times for Anisha in the ISL back in the 2021 season. Here's Ajit with the free kick. Floated into space again, Zabako's header. Hooked back in by Paul, but Gurmeet, even though the ball did just pop up. This is both goalkeepers making saves.
Interesting how, Mark, in the Premier League as well, when a goalkeeper does collect the ball, there is an 8-second rule that has been implemented. Well, if
What was N.E muscling his way through, and he's going to get a yellow card for diving, having muscled his way into the box. There was no stopping him. He just got a little bit fortunate on a couple of occasions, took a tumble. But the referee, Venkatesh, deciding that it's a yellow card.
he does try to get past defenders there, Shari. Somehow does get the ball, and here on the yellow card allowing Najari, he knows how to win free kicks, how to win a penalty. Then just getting past Harbour defense, although a yellow card been shown.
2 মিনিট এক্সট্রা টাইম দিয়েছে, সবাই লাইক করে দাও, শেয়ার করে দাও, আমার চ্যানেলটাকে সাবস্ক্রাইব করো।
Yeah, I was just about to say, he certainly didn't seem to throw himself to the ground. Here's Partip Gogoi, chance to make 2! And right on the stroke of half-time, in 2 minutes added time, Partip Gogoi, who lit up the ISL a couple of seasons ago with some stunning strikes from outside the box, finds himself in space, keeps his cool to guide it past Mirshad, and what a boost for Juan Pedro Benali and those Highlanders fans right on the stroke of half-time. It's North East United leading Diamond Harbour by 2-0. John Abraham delighted as well.
He will be a very happy man there, Partip Gogoi. What the finish there. Well, he knows, Adi Mushari knows, and we saw that in the celebration as well. But before that here, the two strikers combining well. Partip, look at that, gets the ball onto his right foot, and no chance for Mirshad. It's almost like it's found its place into the side netting, beats the goalkeeper and gets a second. North East United, Partip Gogoi, and then avoids that celebration where Adi Najari, the boot polish celebration, he says, respects his senior. Bows down to him there.
A good camaraderie between these North East United players. Cleverly opened up his body there just to give himself the angle to put that into the top corner beyond Mirshad. And there's probably just one thing about Partip Gogoi, he needs to score more goals. We saw him, as we say, scoring 1 or 2 stunners a couple of seasons ago, but the goals dried up for him in the last Indian Super League campaign. 5 goals in 17 previously, only 2 last season. Another foul on Ajare, cleverly holding the ball up and drawing the foul there from Rakima. It's one of his strengths as well, Ajare, when he's got his back to goal. Very difficult to try and dispossess.
And the goal that North East United have been looking for now, it's almost like there is a cushion that this side have. Juan Pedro Benali has. Minutes have been added in the first 45 minutes.
Andy with a free kick. Another dangerous looking ball into the box. Referee spotted some pushing though. And that will be the last action of the first half. Well, North East United started the brighter. Mirshad blocking the ball away with his chest early on. Gurmeet had to make a good save from Jobby Justin's header. But in the end, the goal first came on the half-hour mark. Shiraktar getting his first Durand Cup goal. And Partip Gogoi on the stroke of half-time getting a second. Ajare did have a couple of shots in that game, but well, they won't care who scores the goals, Karen, as long as they win this game. It's the idea for North East United, and they've got a 2-goal cushion at half-time.
Yeah, it's been a strong performance there. Early on, we saw them was controlling the game, and then the first goal changed that. The second goal now, and Partip Gogoi scored. Beautiful goal there. The fans will be happy here. We see some travelling fans as
তুই একটু বন্ধ করতো। হাফ টাইম, সবাই লাইক কমেন্ট শেয়ার করে দাও।
They doubled their advantage.
And in this fashion, that their owner, John Abraham, liked and celebrated. Look at that. Incredible goal, maybe no goal. You can say that it was touch away from him, and then Martin Boyd just slumped past Milton.
Well, Alan Jarrow, 7 goals to his name, but he'll celebrate part of second goal of this edition of the Durand Cup. Half-time here in Kolkata. It's North East United 2, Diamond Harbour 0.
The most advanced technology firm in India also happens to be the country's best.
a difference. So Durand will have to get his side refocused.
It's Jitin, the keeper's come off his line. Kicked away by Mula. The tables have turned, there is no doubt about it. Do whenever required. It must be such a task. Meanwhile, North East United with possession. And it's a shot from distance. A bullet that sears through Shillong Lajong hearts. And it's a bullet from Redeem Talang's left foot. The former Red Dragon Green Spire. And it's 1-0 to the Highlanders.
And we were just talking about that, about how, the momentum had gone and the momentum had changed. John losing possession, Redeem Talang gets himself and showed why he was a promising attacking player.
Low battery, please charge.
John Langs. Chip towards goal again. It crashes into the crossbar. Samte this time. And suddenly it's all North East United.
Yeah, what a strange game from almost nothing. The right back's just scored and now the left back.
Frankie Buang from distance once more. He tried that in the first half. And when it didn't happen, he took another bite of the cherry. For Shillong Lajong, Parthiv has been forced wide though. He finds Andy. Andy, calm and composed, crashes it into the post. Almost curtains for Shillong Lajong.
That.
Low battery, please charge.
Both full-backs forward. It was a 2v2 break.
Karyang. This could be a chance. Slightly overhit on the pass by Tongpa. And that should be that. In their quest to climb the summit once more, the Highlanders have crossed the final hurdle. The defending champions find themselves in the final of the Indian Oil Durand Cup once more. It is Shillong Lajong 0, North East United 1.
সবাই শেয়ার করে দিন, খেলা শুরু হবে, সবাই শেয়ার করে দিন।
The halfway point here at the Salt Lake, the VYBK Stadium in Kolkata, over Diamond Harbour. 2-0, Parthiv Gogoi getting that late goal at the end of the first half. This wonderful stadium seeing another great night of football under the lights, and Sabako looking to lift the trophy for the consecutive season. Aladdin Harry was kept a little bit quiet by that Diamond Harbour defence. He did pick up a yellow card for diving in the first half. Karen Sawney is alongside me for this one, and we spoke about this in the first half. North East are making a change at the start of the second half. They're taking off Radim Talang, who was on a yellow and committed another couple of fouls, and bringing Dinesh on, which is probably quite sensible when you consider what's at stake here if they were possibly to go down to 10 men.
Yeah, we saw that Radim Talang, after the yellow card was given, multiple needless challenges there by him, and then Juan Pedro Benali making sense of the change. And we've seen Dinesh play in that position multiple times as well. He plays in that position, he plays in right back as well. Although now for North East United, it's about staying safe and keeping those 11 men on the pitch. All the fans here who've travelled at the Salt Lake Stadium, they want to rejoice one more time. They've done that last time around with the Indian All-Durand Cup, and now again, they want to lift the trophy.
Yeah, that goal from Partey really was a dagger blow, really, for Diamond Harbour. Kibu Bakuna, I'm sure, here's Dinesh, by the way. Kibu Bakuna would have had his team sorted out, I bet, at 1-0 down. But at 2-0, the whole dynamic of the way Diamond Harbour have to approach this second half changes. They've only conceded more than one goal in one game, North East United. That was the 2-2 draw with Rangjit United when they made 10 changes to their starting lineup. Dinesh getting his opportunity, fourth appearance in this season's competition. He did start a couple of matches for them. Chema Nunes has been the focal point really for North East as Venkatesh gets us underway for the second half. North East United all in white tonight, kicking from right to left in the second half. It was 2-2 in the final last year, of course, against Mohun Bagan Supergiant, when North East needed a penalty shootout to win. There is the confirmation, Radim going off. Scored that wonderful goal in the semi-final to get North East here against Shillong Najong. First touch from Matthew. Not resting on his shoulders, you feel the experience that Luka Machin brings to this Diamond Harbour side in the second half. I just wonder, Karen, what the approach will be for Kibu Bakuna's side. As I say, it's 1-0. And in fact, Tick of North East United looking for another goal. Ajare's in the middle, takes a deflection and goes behind for the corner. Yeah, whether Diamond Harbour come out a little bit more aggressively now that they're 2-0 down, because they need to get an early goal, you would feel, at the start of this second half.
Yeah, they'd like that. Kibu Bakuna would like that. Although it's the other way around. North East United with that attack where Parthiv Gogoi was looking to find Harin Ajare, was not very happy that it was blocked. They made that run in towards the near post.
Now, one thing we know is we won't see a Juan Pedro Benali side sit back and defend that 2-0 lead. They'll want more goals. Corner taken short, back out to Andy. Better angle for the cross this time. Back across by Dinesh. Helped goalward by Ajare, but just wide of the target. And another well-worked corner. Dinesh found space at the back. The substitute who's just come on, heading it back across for Ajare, who couldn't hit the target.
Almost perfectly executed there. First time in towards Ajare, who just makes that space for himself half a yard away from the defender. He's going to wrap his legs around the ball. Finish off target. We seldom say that. For Northeast United now, it's about not just conceding, it's about keeping ball possession. It's about keeping ball possession, especially in and around Diamond Harbour's box.
Yeah, Ajay, the danger man, 39 games in Indian football, 39 goals. Durand Cup, League, Super Cup. Jobby Justin. Given away, shoot me to Maya Cannon. Nunes. Samte. Just see Juan Pedro Benali there at the bottom of the screen, still urging his side to get forward here. They've gone back to Zabako. Samte. Ajay just trying to turn his man, but Ruat Kima was there with the good interception. Here's Paul. Good touch to try and take him away from Ashir. Jobby. There's a player down injured, I think, which is why Jobby Justin's put the ball out of play. Machin, he's back on his feet.
Yeah, I'm happy with something there. Luka Machin. Jobby Justin just plays the ball outside. Now it's for Diamond Harbour now, how they keep the ball, especially in midfield. They have three attackers. When you see Luka Machin falling back and helping in midfield, you expect Jobby Justin to make that run in across behind the centre-back.
That's a lovely touch onto Aladdin Ajay. Angle was a little bit tight, right the way across. And a simple finish for Northeast United to make it 3 as Toy Singh gets off the mark. Brilliant ball in by Ajay, in behind the defenders, and it was the simplest of finishes from Toy. And Northeast United edge a step closer to a second successive Durand Cup success. They lead Diamond Harbour by 3-0.
Is that quality from Aladdin Ajay down the left flank? Well, the team will celebrate, the owner will celebrate. It is Aladdin Ajay who makes that space once again for himself. Not just with pace, it is with intensity, with
যারা দেখছেন লিংকটা শেয়ার করে দিন, যারা দেখছেন খেলা তারা লিংকটা শেয়ার করে দিন।
On a platter for this man. Phillips is on a platter for Toy. Well, the chances that this side are creating.
Brilliant ball in from Ajay. Easy finish for Toy Singh, gets his first goal of this edition. And that's the 7th different goal scorer Northeast United have had in this Durand Cup. He scored in the semi-final last season against Shillong Lajong in a 3-0 win. And gets another goal here, Toy Singh. He's clearly up. Juan Pedro Benali rates highly. He's keeping Jitin out this night tonight. And just saying there, Carrie, we lost you for a second, but that's Northeast United's 7th different goal scorer, just showing that they don't solely rely on Aladdin Ajay.
Yeah, different goal scorers in the side. Aladdin Ajay is so important and vital in that move that he identifies the threat, he identifies the space that he sees behind the two defenders, and just with so much raw strength and raw power, takes that touch in towards goal, and then with quality along the ground in for Toy. No chance he was missing from there. Now surely maybe Northeast United have one hand on the trophy.
Yeah, Diamond Harbour's only defeat was that heavy 5-1 defeat to Marbagan Super Giants in their final group game. But they've met their match in Northeast United, who, I mean, we touched. Well, I touched on it in the first half. Karen, Northeast United had that woeful season of seasons ago when they finished bottom of the table, single figure points, only just got into double figures goals if I remember rightly. But when you look at the improvement under Juan Pedro Bernali, it really has been quite astonishing over the last 2 seasons, and it looks as though that will carry on now into Bernali's 3rd season at North East.
Yeah, it's with the quality that he's put in pre-season and the last 2 seasons as well, and the kind of players he signed is the likes of N.E Bogoy as well, who has evolved as an attacker. But Chitin who's playing such good football. When you have these kind of players, Ashir Akhtar at behind in centre back, when you have these kind of players stepping up alongside the other players and under Juan Pedro Bernali, we see the result of that.
Once played wide, looking in for Jobby Justin. Partip goes down under Cortazar's challenge. It was a heavy one as well. Partip was in full flight. In fact, the referee hasn't given the free kick. Thought he'd given the free kick there, but not to be. Little Diamond Harbour have the ball. It looks as though Aladdin Ajare, by the way, will win the golden ball and the golden boot, which means he gets 2 SUVs, Karen.
Challenge there on part of Aladdin Ajare. That's one on the score sheet. We can see that Partip showing. Look at that, just takes that touch away from Murtaza, who believes that his challenger's tackle was on the ball. He points towards it. We'd like to see a replay of that where Partip Gogoi was asking for a foul.
And a wry smile from Cortazar. That's been the Spanish leagues, or the lower leagues. He's been playing all his career till moving to India this season. Was playing in the Primera Federación Group 1 last season. I'm not sure what level of Spanish football that is, but it's a lower league anyway. Those North East United fans, they really are in dreamland. And I'm just thinking of all those supporters back up in the North East watching this on the watch-alongs that are going on, the big public events where everybody's got together, because they do have a big fan base up there and great support here in Kolkata for them as well. The Highlander Brigade out in force, and well, what a night it's been for them so far. Partip's okay now, so he'll have to come off, of course, before going back onto the field again. Really surprised he didn't get a free kick for that, but not to be.
Right under the referees. Watch them. Strong challenge by Cortazar. Now, also Partip Gogoi walking back into action. Young player who wants to make his mark. He's been given the name of the Golden Boy at N.E United with the kind of goals he scored. Although he did struggle for game time last season, this time around maybe can turn things in his favor.
Diamond Harbour looking to try and respond here and get a goal back. Job Justin didn't win the header. Goalkeeper comes out, did bravely, and well there, Gurmi diving in at the feet and managing to gather the ball at the second attempt. It was all that was there. Did well there, Gurmi.
The ball played in. Very quick to react there. Yes, ball right there for ball, and then there with second ball, Gurmeet. Look at that, very aggressive, very brave. Yeah, he will ask for a foul. That could be the challenge in from behind. Referees, as always, protecting goalkeepers.
We are going to see a triple change coming up for Diamond Harbour. We're going to see a debut for Bryce Miranda as well, who only signed and joined the club in the week. There's another yellow card Diamond Harbour's first yellow card going to Gerrit Kosler. He looks totally amazed that he's got a yellow card. And
he does look
quite rightly
surprised.
so as well.
He did get something on the ball. There was no chance that can be a yellow card. Although, no problems. He has been brought off their mark.
Yeah, that's his final action of the game. The three players coming off, Ajit, Samuela and Girik, and the three players coming on are Bryce Miranda, Sresta and Naresh, all coming on. Naresh did pick up a red card in that 5-1 defeat to Murbagan Supergiants, straight red, so it's the quarter-final against Jamshedpur. Was on the bench tonight though, but comes on now for a fifth appearance. Bryce Miranda was on loan at Inter Kashi last season. He ended up being an I-League winner, although it took him a long time to find out he was an I-League winner. A couple of games at Punjab the previous season. North East United very much in control here, approaching the hour mark in Kolkata. It's gone out of play. It will be a Diamond Harbour throw. There is Bryce Miranda, surplus to requirements at the Kerala Blasters.
They'd like to make his mark now. In for Diamond Harbour. We've seen his plays down the wing.
That was aiming towards Luka Machin, Ashir, who scored the opening goal for North East Week, defensive header that time. Machin again. Still busy, Luka Machin. You see that he still enjoys his football, although he's just taken a knock there. Chance here for Paul, drop of the shoulder, still going Paul. It was Dinesh who eventually got the challenge in. Paul still comes away with the ball, great persistence, and eventually the ball hammered out of play for a throw into Diamond Harbour by Toy Singh.
They're very stubborn there, Polly. All well, and then backs the players with pace. Somehow manages to win that throw-in for Diamond Harbour. And now Kibu Bakula's side committing that inside the 8 box. Looking to outnumber North East United. So this is where they're dangerous.
Here's Ajare. Can he get on the score sheet? Pulls the shot across the face of goal. It was a little bit tight, the angle for him, but he didn't really have too many options. We see him in that position so many times, and so many times it leads to a goal for North East United, but not on that occasion.
Yeah, we see Radin Ajare make better. Well, he saw that angle, he saw that gap in toward our post. Completely misses the target there, Radin Ajare. We did see Juan Pedro Banali maybe asking him if he wants to come off.
He was certainly asking somebody if he wants to come off. Maybe it was Ajare, but surely he'll want to stay on and try and add to his tally. 7 goals has been a great achievement again for him. So he burst onto the scene. His first goal for North East United came in this competition last season when he scored in a 4-0 win over BSF in their second group game in the 97th minute. Little did we know that he would go on to become the leading goal scorer in a single season in the Indian Super League with 23. He's currently 39 for 39 in Indian football, as we mentioned. Luka Machin on the opposite side is another player with an excellent scoring record since moving to India. 10 goals for Punjab last season, into double figures. In comes the free kick. Machin will be the target. Half away by Dinesh, pushed away by Gurmeet. It was viciously struck. I think it was Lavan Sangha that had the shot. Gurmit just pushing the ball away, but pushing it away to the side, which spoke in the first half about Mearshad just pushing the ball back into play, but another good save by the North East United goalkeeper.
A crucial time now for Diamond Harbour. They need to get a goal in if they want to believe that there is a possibility of comeback there.
Double change for North East United. Chema Nunes is coming up. Partey Gogoy is coming up, having got his goal. Second goal of the tournament, having scored in that win over Bodoland. And Jairo is coming on. Be a straight swap for Chema Nunes in that central position. And McCartan-Nixon coming on as well, which probably means they'll just drop another body into midfield. Jairo does like to play quite high up the field, so it will still be quite an attacking change at North East United, but McCartan will certainly add a bit of extra steel into that area. Missed the quarter-final against Bodoland, McCartan, after picking up 2 yellow cards in the group stage. So that's the other thing, Karen, as well, we've said about Juan Pedro Bernali in this tournament. His game management and the man management, and that when he makes his substitutions, as Ajari goes bursting through again, straight at the goalkeeper. Might get a second chance here, North East United. Yeah, he seems to have made his substitutions very cleverly.
সবাই শেয়ার করে দাও, সবাই শেয়ার করে দাও, লাইক করো, কমেন্ট করো।
Yeah, he's so good with that. And Juan Pedro Bernali, he doesn't believe in just sitting back to the play. He wants to attack every ball. He wants to score more goals, and that's the attitude that he brings into the side. Aladin Ajari does look, he's struggling with something, maybe with his knee. Same knee that he felt in the semi-final against Shillong Lajong.
Yeah, we'll see in a moment if they do decide to replace Aladin Ajari. Jitin, I would imagine, would be the obvious change if they want to bring on another attacking player. Here's that chance again.
Yeah, Aladin Ajari there. Shot, gets a shot off in on target, and this time Irshad has saved it off it away. But right after that, just have a look at Aladin Ajari there. Well, this was earlier. Shot from far out. But Aladin Ajari, after that finish where he did get his finishing up, maybe signalling to the bench, asking to be brought off. Maybe.
Yeah, just a little flex of that knee after he had that shot. That save from Gurmit, by the way, came from Lavin Sanga's long-range drive. Here's Naresh. Didn't wait too well. Well, McCartan's got a yellow card. Ajari is offside this time, so McCartan, who has picked up quite a few yellow cards in this tournament, has got one. He's only just come on as well.
And this time a clever run there from Aladin Ajari, just times it maybe a little too late. Look at that, good vision. In from the midfield, first time into the path of Aladin Ajari. Marginally offside.
Yeah, North East just starting to find a few gaps now in that Diamond Harbour defence. Well, you certainly feel they've got to be a little bit more aggressive and take some chances if they want to, even try and threaten. But North East United have defended well. Zabako has marshalled things pretty well at the back. Naresh getting forward here. That might find its way through to Match, and it did find its way through, but it came at him a little bit sharply. Kiba Vakuna just getting behind his side's efforts in getting in behind that North East United defence. Here's Matchin again. Long way from goal. It was dipping awkwardly. It goes wide. Gurmit berating his defenders for allowing that shot. It's taken a slight deflection on its way through.
Yeah, look at Matchin. dangerous on the ball every time. The kind of player to Adinajare. Every time he gets on the ball, you feel it is a goal scoring opportunity. Very, very direct in Luka Machin. In the corner for Diamond Harbour, and now you see Kibu sending his centre back inside the ball to maybe get a sense of hope.
Robbie's corner. Oh, there's a header which has crept in. Well, it was almost in slow motion. But Diamond Harbour finally get off the mark. It was Robbie's corner. Was it Cortazar that got the final touch? We'll have a look in just a second. But it was almost in slow motion. It crept past Gurmi and just crept inside that post into the bottom corner. But it is a lifeline, maybe, for Diamond Harbour with just under a quarter of the game to go.
Well, there's that goal that Kibu Bakuna was looking for. The corner whipped it in towards the near post, and somehow a big deflection sees the goalkeeper, escapes Gurmi and finds its way in towards the near post. Adinajare sees the ball go inside his own goal post. And is that Luka Machin? That's the last touch.
Well, it is Luka Machin. It was Jobby Justin's initial header. And how many times has Luka Machin been in that sort of position where he's just managed to either deflect the ball in or get a simple tap in across his career? He's in the right place in the right time in the 100th minute against Mohammedan in the very opening game to seal a vital win for Diamond Harbour. And here they come again on the attack. If they could get a second goal now, it would set us up nicely. But it's not to be a third clean sheet in a row for North East United. Good play by Dinesh. Cortazar. Well, it's amazing what a goal can do for a team's spirits. Even at 3-0 down, all of a sudden, there's an extra spring in the step here for Diamond Harbour.
Luka Machin
And they're pressing.
looking to score 2 more goals there. Maybe get his name onto that Golden Boot trophy.
Well, he's up to 5 now, Luka Machin, just 2 behind Aladdin Jarrett. We didn't know too much about it, but it counts.
And that header there, and then Luka Machin with that crucial big deflection, unintended, although still a goal's a goal, and he's going to take it.
Yeah, there's a certain irony, Karen, as a striker. If that goes in off a defender, it still goes down as Jobby Justin's goal because the original header was on target. But because it's his own teammate that's deflected it in, it goes down as a Luka Machin goal.
Yeah, these fans here for North East United now a bit dense of conceding that goal. 20 minutes, a long time to turn things around, and we've seen that multiple finals in multiple matches where one goal could change the game.
There's Jobby Justin, just a little bit too eager to shoot from distance, a little off balance, didn't really set himself properly and pulls the side of the target, but he'll try and be a real driving force, the captain for his side, in the final 18 and a half minutes or so. Well, there's the SUV for the Golden Ball winner and the Golden Boot winner. I think both those are heading into Aladdin. I hope he's got a big garage wherever he lives in India. Because there's a very good chance that Gurmi will win the Golden Glove as well. There's another long-range shot from Paul this time that goes wide of the target. Luka Machin just maybe asking for a little bit more composure when he's side of coming forward.
They are coming forward with numbers there. I mean, how about Kibu Vikuna knows that in these situations, you avoid temptation and you make those passes. Luka Machin asking for that pass, and now this player, he's being brought in. He's had an incredible season last time around, and we know what he can do when he's on the ball with his pace, with his experience. Sometimes he's done things that nobody probably in the Indian Super League could have done last season.
Well, it's the score of the third goal that's coming off. Toy Singh Jitin is coming off, so coming on rather. Whatever that issue with Aladdin Ajare was, it seems that it's not going to affect his participation in the game at the moment. Jitin, who was left on the bench in place of Toy, has a chance to try and use his pace against this Diamond Harbour defence to maybe try and help his side restore that 3-goal cushion. Chairman was Hyro rather, trying to get the quarters up. Nervous times for Juan Pedro Bernali, having seen his seed that goal. Diamond Harbour are going to make another change. Tapoya, another new player in their squad this season, signed from Goklan Kerala. He's going to come on for a third appearance off the bench. Chested up by Machin. Paul. Jobby. Machin has raced into the middle. Nice little overlap from Naresh. Good challenge though from Jitin, using his pace to get back on defensive duty and maybe picked up a slight knock, but able to get the ball away at the second attempt. Now McCartan. Ajare just held his line to stay onside. Oh, tries to get around Cortazar, who leans into him, brings him down. And quickly acknowledging the foul. Good play by Ajare, who just held the line there, made sure he didn't stray into an offside position.
And the kind of punches he takes, Aladdin Ajare, a slight heavy touch, and he invites those challenges, but he's so fast to the ball, so far with his feet as well. He knows how to get there right in time. Yellow card for Cortazar, who knows maybe he should have held his ground, not lunged in. That kind of talent now for Aladdin Ajare, now for North East United, another goal scoring opportunity.
Yeah, just dived in a little on the challenge there, Cortazar. So difficult to contain when he's at full pace though, Aladdin Ajare. And he's over the free kick. This is one of those that could well be whipped in here towards Mirshad. Goes for goal, but just too high this time. Aladdin Ajare, that will be the drinks break in the second half. A chance for Kibu Vicuna here to get a few words across, and a chance for Juan Pedro Bernali the same to just make sure his side shore it up a little bit at the back. But it's been a good response since going 3-0 down by Diamond Harbour. Can they get themselves another goal to set up a grandstand finish, I wonder?
It's been interesting here on this drinks break or a tactical break now for Diamond Harbour. Not only the players, it's also the kind of players that, and the numbers that they can out North East United inside their own half, but they are creating chances to look up and just they know that they have the capability to maybe get 2 more goals in and take this forward. Keep Vicuna now. What can he do? The right foot out. That's how the goal was scored. Ball whipped in, and then strong header off Luka Marcin at the end. Keeper, a big deflection. Maybe the goal came at the right time.
Yeah, Kibu Vicuna there with a few words for Rakima, who was the hero, of course, against Jamshedpur in the quarter-final with 2 goals. Hyro recently on for North East United, another one of their new foreign signings for the new season. Another player that was in the lower leagues in that Primera Federación Group 1 last season with Sestao River. Interesting player, Hyro. He has played a lot around Europe. He was in Hungary with Honved for a couple of seasons, played at Sevilla, Mainz in Germany, Las Palmas in Spain, went back to Germany with Hamburg. adding that little bit of experience. N.E Nunez and Andy, of course, we've seen a lot of in this tournament as well. It's Naresh. Clock ticking away from Diamond Harbour. The substitution has been made. Joby Justin has gone off. No hero status for him tonight. It is Tarpoya that's come on. McCartan just dropping the shoulder there and trying to muscle past his man, but in the end was brought down. It was Robbie that just stopped him any way he could, really, there.
Nixon, he did feel something from behind. A short goal and then clever from him. Again, buys more time for Northeast United.
Still moving forward here, Naresh. Double teamed at that near post by Zabako and Andy to block the ball behind for the corner. Paul with the corner this time. Headed away again by Andy. Tarpoya. Nice ball. He couldn't get that one across. He was credited with lots of assists during his time at Isewell. Tarpoya didn't get much game time at Goklan, but getting a chance now at Diamond Harbour and a good position to get that one across there.
And the young boy from Mizoram just finds himself in space there. Although Luka Machin, he was asking for a ball. Tarpoya. Just gaze up and see his teammate who was in the position was asking for a cut back.
Jerry. Rakima a little too strong in the challenge, so a free kick to Northeast. Juan Pedro Benali getting a little upset with some of these challenges, I think. That was Naresh actually that made the challenge on Aladin Ajare. Free kick to Northeast.
Yeah, using his hands a bit there. Aladin Ajare just generates so much force and acceleration in those tight spaces. Gets in front of Naresh, wins that free kick for Northeast United.
Don't forget, it's 35 years since the side last defended the Durand Cup. East Bengal in 1990. They went on to win it the following year as well to make it 3 in a row. That's spilled by Mirshad, not for the first time tonight. Oh, brilliantly done. Guided into the bottom corner by Hiram. And Northeast United restored the 3-goal cushion. And the Spaniard who scored early on in the tournament, Srangajid, has got another goal here, having just come on a few moments ago. And Northeast United lead by 4 goals to 1. And surely that wraps up a second successive Indian Oil Durand Cup 4-1.
Yeah, Ram, he can start his celebration. They're up in the VIP box. Northeast United get their 4th goal. Hilo got it in the second half, showing why and showing the quality that he brings, showing why Juan Pedro Benali has got him into the side. Big touch away from the defender, and with his right foot finishes it. Quality there. Ball whipped in away once again by Mirshad. A big goalkeeping mistake. If you cannot collect it, you punt it away. You punt it away from that area. And Mirshad spills it once again in for Jairo, who does ever so well. No chance when you finish in between the defender's legs, through them and into the bottom corner. 4th goal for Northeast United, and surely now The Indian Oil Durand Cup for the second consecutive season is theirs.
Yeah, the ball just kissed the post on its way in. But this is, sometimes we say this a lot, particularly I think last season in the ISL, the goalkeeper's handling at times left quite a lot to be desired, and if you don't get the ball cleanly or get it away, you keep your defence under pressure, and that's what happened. Diamond Harbour couldn't get the ball away, and Hyro punished them. I can just imagine that the scenes up in Northeast, up in Guwahati and Shillong and surrounding areas where those Northeast fans are gathered to watch the game tonight. Sheer delight, I'm sure, and almost carrying a sheer disbelief. There was disbelief last season when they won the Durand Cup under every ISL team played last season. It was a really strong competition, and it's been strong this year in different ways. But their nerve, and they've gone on to do, as I say, what East Bengal did 35 years ago. That's retain the trophy.
Yeah, other than the first 20 minutes, they've probably every player, Northeast United. And we track back and think about Deepa Vicuna or Diamond Harbour, the first 20 minutes, if they didn't convert the chances they got, maybe Northeast United would have not found themselves in this situation. And now, this is what quality does. When you get these kind of chances, you finish them.
Chipped in again by Tarpoya, gathered by Gurmi. By comparison to his opposite number, he's had a really safe pair of hands tonight. Just under 17,000 in the Salt Lake tonight for this one. The majority of them Northeast United fans who are thoroughly enjoying this resurgence of their team. And who'd have thought Carol would be saying this, but they might need a bigger trophy room. Wouldn't have been saying that 3 seasons ago.
Yeah, something Mandar Tamane and John Abraham would like to hear. Bigger trophy room. Good problems for Northeast United going forward now.
Machin can't bring the ball under control. Oh, cleverly done for Northeast. Now Jitin. Ajare flicks the ball away from his man. He's got Jitin in with him. Cleverly done again by Aladdin Ajare. Bends that ball in behind. Just too far across. Is it? No, it's not. Because Northeast United have scored a 5th. And it's Andy this time that's on the score sheet. It's a Spanish double towards the end of the game. And Ajare that provide once again. It's a similar ball to be played for Toy. It looked as though that might have been a little bit too far for Andy and the angle was tight. But somehow he's wrapped his foot around it. It's looped into the net. And for the second time in this Durand Cup, Northeast United, Diamond Harbour rather, are staring a 5-1 defeat in the face. Northeast are going on to win this one in style. They lead 5-1.
Yeah, they're all smiles there, Northeast United. Ajare once again with the space, where he sees that run in behind the defenders. And what about that for a pass? Before we come to the finish, he identifies that pace. Quality finish there. Maybe not intended to get the ball over the goalkeeper like that. He finds the ball in the back of the net. Well, that's more of a goal for Aladdin Ajare as well, with the kind of pass that he played around the defence of Diamond Harbour.
Andy was on the score sheet in the quarter-final win over Bodoland for his debut goal for Northeast United. Now he has a second. And it really has turned into a rout now for Juan Pedro Bernali's side. It's the most they scored. They scored 4 against Bodoland, and they might not be finished yet either. Jitin. Diamond Harbour stretched. Jitin going cross goal. He's just run out of space a little bit there. 4 defenders now getting back behind the ball. Still Jitin. And eventually, Mirshad will gather, spills the ball again. Mirshad under no pressure. And another long-range shot comes in. Ajare. And eventually the ball will be taken away from him by Paul. What on earth was Mirshad doing then, putting his defence right back under pressure?
been more than one occasion there, Mark, where Mirshad has spilled the ball there. 2 goals have come from that, one for Ashir Akhtar, and then we saw him coming out for crosses as well. And now, if North East United did score with that, well, 6 goals with the defending champions. Although in these kind of matches, you need to be clinical. In these kind of matches, you cannot make these unforced errors.
Yeah, Jitin was the man who was bursting forward initially, trying to get a chance in. There'll be 4 minutes added time here at the end of the 90. This is the biggest win in the final since Mahindra Big Churchill Brothers 5-0 in 2001. Here comes the edge. Lalin Stanga coming off. Mohit Mittal, who is a late addition to the squad, comes on for his 2nd appearance off the bench. Diamond Harbour will go away, they'll regroup, they'll plan for the new I-League season whenever that is going to get underway. Only once, by the way, has a team scored 6 in a Durand Cup final. That was a long time ago, 1896, when the Somerset Light Infantry beat Black Watch by 6 goals to 1. Is Mirshad better with his feet than he has been with his hands tonight? What does this mean for North East United, Karen? We saw last season what it meant for them, but to win it twice, they're surely a side now that can't wait for the new season, hopefully soon to get underway, because they will be one of the favourites to make the playoffs once again, you would feel, in the ISL. It was a set because Diamond Harbour are coming forward, but that's put away for a corner. But it certainly will mean a lot to them once again.
Yeah, it did mean a lot to them earlier last year. Well, and now it just instills that belief that they can win the Indian Super League as well. Yeah, a chance for Diamond Harbour, although tracking back North East United, tracking back, clearing that away to safety. But answering a question there, Mark, for John Abraham and for the coach as well now, it's their eyes on the Indian Super League that they are looking to win for the first time ever. We see the kind of team they are now, and like you said, they could be favourites. You see Bournemouth, who've had the strongest team. You have Mummy East Bengal, a reinforced team, although North East United getting past all of that, getting past and making it to the finals of the Indian Durand Cup once again, and now they've surely won it for 2 consecutive seasons now.
Now they're going to make one more change, North East United. Danny's going to come on for Aladdin Ajere. We're into 4 minutes added time at the end of the 90. It's going to be a corner for Diamond Harbour. Although it comes to nothing once again. Well, it's been a great tournament, of course, with all the speculation around, and hopefully after yesterday's Supreme Court ruling we'll hopefully see some movement in starting a new season. But it's been so nice, Karen, to have competitive football back in India, and the fans getting back out supporting their teams, as well as Diamond Harbour go in search of another goal. Gurmit saves with his legs. Now here come North East on the break. Bouncing towards that bottom corner, came back off the post, and there's a challenge just on the edge, and a penalty to North East United. Aladdin Ajere brought down. He is the man that's going off in a moment, but he's drawn the foul on the edge of the box to win a penalty and a chance to move on to 8 goals. Well, we went from one end to the other in very quick succession there.
You see that hunger and desire where he wants to get onto the score sheet. not the provider. His first effort stopped by the post, and then still it's that pace gets ahead and the first to react to the ball and then wins that penalty for North East United. Signals that before he comes off, he wants a goal to his name in the final of the Indian Oil Durand Cup.
And Ruek came up, just stuck out a leg, and it was a tired-looking challenge at this stage of the game in the 93rd minute. And no question who was going to take this penalty. Aladdin Ajare against Mirshad. Little stutter, and in off the underside of the bar. And Aladdin Ajare makes it 6. And he is finishing the tournament in some style. It's his 40th goal in Indian football. His 8th goal of this tournament. And he has been, once again, the standout performer. What a performance, and what a second half it's been for North East United. Diamond Harbour blown away by the Highlanders.
Strikes it high there. Aladdin Ajare. Past Mirshad, rattles the crossbar on the inside of the goal post and then find into the back of the net. Had to wait 90 minutes to get his name onto the score sheet. Aladdin Ajare. 93 minutes back.
Another great performance. As we said, it does equal 6 goals that Somerset Light Infantry scored. Still need another couple to get the biggest Durand Cup win, which they're not known to do, which was Highland Light Infantry back in 1889. But nevertheless, what a performance from North East United. Diamond Harbour were in the game very early on, but once North East got in front, it was really difficult for them. They got to a 3-0 lead before Luka Macha's deflective header gave them brief hope. But the man of the moment, Aladdin Ajare, getting the 6th, his 8th goal of the tournament. And what a performance. And what a tournament it's been again for North East United, who were the winners of the 134th Indian Oil Durand Cup, powered by SBI and Coal India after that dominant display, Karen.
That is incredible, especially in the second 45 minutes. Luka Machin, he did get one goal in for Diamond Harbour in lucky fashion, although this side for Juan Pedro Bernali win a final in this style, in this fashion for the second consecutive time is just incredible. In front of the fans that have travelled here at the Salt Lake Stadium to witness them win once again. North East United, the season does look bright. The tournament with the tournament that they've had this time around.
Well, they came here in expectation, North East United, after their win last season. But even they, surely in their wildest dreams, would have expected a winning margin of 5 goals. As We Are the Champions rings out, Miguel Zapaca very soon will become the first player in recent times to lift that trophy for a second successive time. And what a start it's been to the season again for North East United. Nice warm embrace there from Juan Pedro Bernali and Luka Machin. Mutual respect, I'm sure, for both of those. But these teams really, Karen, just speak for themselves. Unbridled joy for North East United, who are still the away winners once again.
Yeah, it'll be a long night of celebration for this side. So they are celebrating that, and Pedro Bernali knows that now this night moving forward, they're a side that teams will fear to face. There's the kind of football they've shown, the discipline in defense, lethal in attack.
Well, you've got to say, brilliantly well done for Juan Pedro Bernali, who once again is the man who's masterminded this victory. 2 seasons ago, North East United, he took over, made his debut in this competition, got them through to the semi-finals where they lost on penalties to East Bengal. But since then, that now extends their unbeaten run in this competition to 18 matches. Quite incredible. Not a clean sheet for Gurmeet tonight, but he won't worry too much about that. He's the Golden Glove winner as well, so they've swept up the awards as well. North East United and John Abraham His last movie was called The Diplomat. There'll be nothing diplomatic about the celebrations tonight, I'm sure, for the Highlanders faithful. But in a way, Karen, I suppose, the fact they played so well and Juan Pedro Bernali's done so well over the last 2 seasons, this almost puts a little bit more pressure on them to do well once the regular season gets underway.
I've always said that you keep expecting players to do better, especially not just for Juan Pedro Bernali, also for N.E United, scoring in every single game that he plays, who's winning trophies, winning N.E United. You don't do it on 1 or 2 occasions, and then you need to start answering those who doubt you. Although N.E United, no doubters, no haters. It's players and fans from all teams that love that man.
Well, it's been really interesting because North East United have treated this as a proper pre-season. Those new signings, Andy, Jairo, Tema Nunes, all look very competent at being able to slot into the East United style of play. Aladdin Ajare, again, we wondered if he might be able to do it for a second season, which is always the big test, of course. That was where Coro was so successful for FC Goa during his time in India. He could do the goal scoring for multiple seasons, and nothing to think that Aladdin Ajare can't do the same again once the season gets underway. He's a natural goal scorer, and it's hard to believe that last season was only the second time he's reached double figures in his career. He's obviously found his niche in India. But tonight he was assister as well, because he got a couple of assists there. One for Toy, that one at the end for Andy. Brilliant balls in behind the defence, reads the game very well and knows exactly how to play that killer pass. But a word about Diamond Harbour, Karen, because they came here probably with very little expectation, although we know their aspirations of wanting to get into the ISL. That is evident by the players that they brought into the club. But clearly Kibo Bakuna will know that there is a lot of work to be done as they build towards an I-League season, as they look for yet another successive promotion.
Yeah, when you beat a team like Imami East Bengal in the semi-final, I mean, Harbour, you know they're a side that has quality, not only with the signings, but coach was brought in. It's the philosophy that they've played with, and we've seen them, big defeats for them. I mean, Harbour, although they've shown how they can handle situations under pressure. Now for North East United, everything's in their favour. 17 shots, 12 on target, and then 50% shots that they've scored on target have found its way into the back of the net.
51% possession. Did close up a little bit in the second half, but totally dominant from North East United. Well, the final of the 134th Indian Durand Cup taking place at the Salt Lake in Kolkata, a very wet Salt Lake in Kolkata, as well as Miguel Zabaco looked to captain his side to a second successive Durand Cup trophy, looking to become the first side since East Bengal in the 1990s to do so. It was a fairly tentative start, but they got themselves underway. It was a mistake by Mirshad, who pushed the ball straight back out into the feet of Ashir Akhtar, who was able to get his first Durand Cup goal. Aladdin Ajare was involved in the build-up. Diamond Harbour had a couple of chances prior to that, but really the goalkeeper, the ball just bouncing up and hitting him on the chest. And Ashir Akhtar, who was onside, able to try to put the ball into the empty net and put North East United in front on the half hour. Great moment for him. First goal in 16 Durand Cup games. And the second came in first half stoppage time. Partey Gugoi finding space in behind the defence once more, just opening himself up to fire past Mirshad. John Abraham in the VIP area, high-fiving everybody. Partey with his second goal of this edition of the Durand Cup. And it doubled their advantage just before half-time. Well, they started brightly in the second half as well. Everything going through Aladdin Ajare. A lovely ball across for Toy Singh to guide that one in from close range. Ajare, 7 goals to his name himself. A lovely ball across. And at 3-0, Durand, there really was no way back for Diamond Harbour.
Yeah, sheer dominance there by North East United, and Aladdin Ajare at the helm of it. Good provider there, and then there was a glimmer of hope when Luka Machin with that big deflection brought this goal to his name. It was a strong header there first time around, and then Machin.
And Luka Machin in the right place at the right time. just getting that deflection to send it past Burmith into the bottom corner. And a lifeline at 3-1 for Diamond Harbour. That lifeline didn't last long. McCartan headed the ball back, and Jairo just got the ball out of his feet, guided it into the bottom corner. An excellent finish from the Spaniard.
Yeah, look at that for a finish. In between the defender's legs and finds its way into the bottom corner there. And this time around, when N.E United celebrated, they knew that it was a goal to celebrate, a goal where they knew they've lifted the Indian Durand Cup trophy, and then every goal after that was a bonus. Ali Najare once again identifies that front in behind the left back, who has no idea who he should mark, who has no idea that there's a man behind him free, and then a delicate finish, maybe not intentional, over the goalkeeper. Another goal there for N.E United.
And Ajare finally getting on the score sheet with the penalty, having won the penalty after the foul by Ruret Kima, firing into the net by the underside of the Barbarians. 8 goal, and rounding off 6-1 win for East United, who take their second successive title. John Abraham has joined them pitch side. We will celebrate it, I'm sure we'll see once again with the trophy as we did last year. After the presentation, the 3 trophies, of course, that N.E United will be presented with. But what a night again it's been for N.E United. So we've got the presentation and ceremony coming up on the other side. Don't go anywhere. Matt will drive you through, take you through that. Full-time score, N.E United 8, Diamond Harbour 1.
I'll find you through the dust and the storm. I'll find you through these machines I'll carry. The burden of my brothers and sisters' pain. So I'll find you. You can hide in the distance between shadow and dust, but I'll strike you down when you betray our trust. So I'll find you. That's my job. That's my mission. That's my promise. I'll find you.
¿Me pone?